Tim Walz is under fire this week because he said in an interview, literally, that Americans are stupid. He said they don't understand policy. They don't even understand who they voted for. We're going to show you that video. As always, guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel so that YouTube shows it to other great patriots like yourself. Here we go.
Today, I'm going to have a high school graduate with my son, Gus. And he's pretty in tune to this. But when he said this, he said, Dad, a lot of these young guys, especially, said they're not voting on the policy issues. And he wasn't dissing them. He said they may know the policy issues, but most of them don't. They're doing it because there's a sense of excitement, a sense of thrill in this. It's entertainment or whatever. We all dismiss that. Donald Trump's a clown. Donald Trump's rallies are a clown. This MMA fighting stuff and this, and look, you start veering in to the Andrew Tate stuff, which is dangerous misogyny and, assault issues and all of that. But there's a peripheral side of that is not criminal, but is still going down the same road of saying you got a place to belong. And I think this is me just pontificating for what it's worth. Social media and other things have disconnected people more than they were. We were more connected in my generation. It was easier to be a kid when I was growing up. And I've always said this as a teacher, if you don't give a kid a place to belong, they'll go find one.
Yeah, telling people that they don't know policy is not a winning strategy, guys. It's not a winning message. It's very elitist, makes people hate you for good reason. A recent poll actually came out this week, a lot of people have been talking about it, that showed that an equal amount of people, for the first time in the last 50, maybe even 100 years, an equal amount of people say that the Republican Party and the Democrat Party are the working class party. It's a 50-50 right now. 20 years ago, it was like 90% towards the Democrats, and now it's 50-50. So that right there isn't people not knowing the policies. That is a shift in what the parties are doing for specific people and people recognizing that. And I think that's very clear from the MAGA movement. There is a serious shift towards Republicans because of the adoption of the pro-worker policies. Not just the rhetoric. There's certainly a lot of pro-worker rhetoric that's new, but there are actual policies in there. Now, Tim Walz is right that MAGA is very welcoming in many ways. I think he got that part right. The spectacle that Trump is certainly a draw. There's something to a charismatic leader. I'm not saying that's not true. He's talking about how people, they want that sense of community, and social media in a lot of ways is actually dividing us. Actually, that's a good read. I actually agree with that. However, he is a fake elitist like Democrats at the end of the day. He is a fake elitist who doesn't actually know how to draw people in. Donald Trump, on the other hand, actually talks to people. He actually interacts with them. Speaking of polling from earlier, a recent Marquette poll shows 19% approval for Democrats right now. And that same poll shows Republicans at 38% approval. So I think that right there, again, that's double Democrats. So I think right there, that's a very good sign of what party is more successful in bringing people together. I think that's just a fantastic poll for it. Again, 38%, not very good. I'm not out here saying the Republican Party is amazing. I'm saying it's twice as good as the Democrat Party, which is not saying much. So the fact, again, that Tim Walz isn't begging on his feet, asking voters what they want, I think that's the perfect demonstration of how puffed up, out of touch he is and the other elitists in the Democrat Party. He was not the only one this week, though, that had that sentiment. Don Lemon, who we haven't heard about in a long time. You probably forgot about him. He was on a podcast and suggested that white men were the problem with America in terms of crime rates. So here's what that looked like.
And I said, well, why isn't anybody trying to ban white guys from this country? And you would have thought that I had, cut off, a left, or I had taken their firstborn kid or whatever. Right. For telling the truth and what the statistics were showing with the FBI data. Why do you think that these white dudes, these white guys are so triggered? Why are they such snowflakes and they claim other people are?
Okay, so white people shouldn't be triggered. It's true that sometimes people get triggered and they shouldn't. They shouldn't be snowflakes like leftists. But they should laugh and mock Don Lemon for his ignorance and his stupidity. Here are the real stats on racial crime in America, since that is what Don Lemon wants to talk about. 59.1% of violent crimes, this is according to the FBI, which is exactly what Don Lemon was supposedly citing there. 59.1% of violent crimes are from white or Hispanic people. Again, the FBI won't divide those groups. I tried really hard to find data that divided white and Hispanic because they're completely different culturally speaking. I think for obviously corrupt reasons, they're keeping them together. In any case, those are the numbers we have to work with. 58% of America, by the way, is white/Hispanic, so almost a perfect proportion. 58% of America is white and Hispanic, and they're doing 59% of the crimes, almost exactly on. On the other hand, it's talking to Don Lemon, what he's talking about, 26.6% of violent crimes are by Black Americans, which is exactly 2 times more proportionally because there's about 13 to 14% of America that are Black. So if we want to talk about the facts, Don Lemon, those are the facts. But this is the attitude, again, from Don Lemon, and I think it points to a central reason Democrats are struggling. They are exclusive. They're very exclusive. It's an elitist club. They hate on MAGA. They hate on white men, and therefore their coalition can only get so big. You can only get so big that way. There's only so many pink-haired lesbians who will vote for you. They're not the majority, guys. It's not enough to win elections. And then on the other hand, you have MAGA, which again is certainly not perfect. The Republican Party has a lot of issues. However, I think it's undeniable if you look at what Donald Trump has done to the party over the last decade. MAGA is actually an incredibly diverse coalition right now, in a way that the Republican Party was not. The Republican Party was, in my mind, a lot more exclusive back in 2014, for example. But that is not the case anymore. And I think the best example of that was looking back at the Republican convention back in like August. I mean, there were all kinds of people up. Some people that I didn't even really like that much. So again, I'm not even saying I love how diverse they are, but they are. That's just the reality. It's very ideological in the Republican Party right now. It's not identity-based like it is for the Democrat Party. And that's why you've got all sorts of people voting Republican now as Democrats simultaneously turn away people who don't look like their target demographic. High-quality talent that fits into your budget is really hard to come by right now in today's business environment, and that's why I've decided to partner with Leverage Assistant. Leverage Assistant connects American businesses like yours with highly vetted accountants, data analysts, marketing specialists, sales assistants, you name it, working the exact time zones that your business needs, all for only $3,000 a month. The average company right now with Leverage Assistant is saving over $20,000 in labor costs. They're not a recruiter or a marketplace. Leverage Assistant is a high-touch resourcing solution where every assistant is vetted through 12 hours of interviews, skill tests, reference checks, and behavioral assessments to ensure that they're the right cultural and operational fit for your company. Right now, guys, they're incredibly generous. This is something I talked to them about. Very generous with you guys, my viewers. They're giving a whole month free so that you can experience for yourself the quality of their talent with absolutely no risk to you or your business. To see what they're all about, all the different roles they provided, to get that 1 month free, head to the link in the description right now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel so other great patriots like yourself will see it. And tune in every single weekday at 6 p.m. Eastern to see the show live, or you can check out another video right here.